My name's Abbie Harper. I'm a holistic nutrition consultant, and today we are going to be making CBD-infused chocolate chip cookies that will happen to be gluten-free and vegan and taste delicious. If you just made a face, I'm gonna make a believer out of you. CBD, it stands for cannabidiol, which is a chemical found in the leaves of the marijuana plant. It will not get you high. So you're gonna feel the body effects and the physical effects without making you feel high. The reason we're baking at 300 degrees is because CBD can evaporate and lose effectiveness if it is heated over 327 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, let's make some cookies. In vegan baking, you can use ground flaxseed and water to replace an egg in a recipe. And it also adds some great healthy fats. Healthy fats help with the absorption of CBD because it's fat soluble. 1.5 teaspoons of ground flaxseed, 1.5 tablespoons of water. Stir it up. We need 49 grams of coconut oil. Coconut oil is gonna be the bulk of the fat in our recipe. So now we're gonna add our CBD oil drops. Today we're gonna make these cookies for my dosage, which is 1/2 of the recommended dosage. It's a great place to start. I have this giant dropper that I'm gonna use, and you can see I've put a hair tie around the outside, very official, to mark where 3 milliliters of oil right now. And then you're gonna wanna add the CBD oil in with your coconut oil. Part of the secret of cooking with CBD is to make sure it's really thoroughly incorporated so that every dose is the same. So the consistency of this coconut oil, you don't want it to be totally liquid. You want it to be partially solid, because we're gonna trick our cookies into thinking they have butter in them by making sure our coconut oil is at like a nice softened buttery consistency here. Once you have this thoroughly combined, add it to your big mixing bowl. Now that we have our coconut oil and CBD oil together, we're going to add sugar. We're gonna cream them together to create a lightness to our cookie. We're adding 1/4 cup of packed dark brown sugar. Now I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of white cane sugar. These might be smaller measurements than you're used to baking with, but we're only gonna make 12 cookies, kind of a small batch bake. CBD oil is really expensive, and you're gonna have the freshest, best quality edibles for yourself. So now we're gonna use a hand mixer to cream together this butter and sugar. We wanna make sure everything's really combined at every step of this recipe. And what we're looking for here is for the oil and the sugars to kind of come together and get fluffy, a little lighter in texture, like that. So we're gonna finish these wet ingredients off by adding our flax egg. So that just goes right in. And then for delicious flavor, we're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. After we add our flax egg and our vanilla, we're gonna combine it again with the mixer. Just making sure everything's incorporated. Let's move on to the dry ingredients. Not that they're not interesting, they're just dry. And we're gonna add 1/2 cup flour in. Scoop it in, level it off. There we go. In my gluten-free cookies, I really like to add quick cooking oats. You do wanna make sure they're gluten-free, and we're gonna add 1/4 cup of that. The oats are gonna add some chewiness and a little texture to the cookie that's really nice. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Don't pour over your bowl, because that could happen. That would be too salty. And that's it for the dry ingredients. Well, the chocolate chips are coming. All you're doing is combining all of the flours and the baking soda together, because like the worst thing is to bite into a cookie and get a bite of baking soda. It's so gross. We're gonna take our dry ingredients and pour them right into the bowl with wet ingredients. All right, and we're gonna mix this until thoroughly combined to make sure that oil is spread evenly throughout the dough. That's what we're doing here. So we got this, some naked chocolate chip cookie dough. We're gonna add some chocolate chips. They're dairy-free, they're vegan, they're gluten-free, they're allergen-free. We got 1/3 cup. And we're just gonna very gently Stir those into the batter. Now that our dough is all finished, it's time to get our cookies on a baking sheet and divide this evenly into 12 cookies. I'm gonna use my scale and measure it out. So basically we're measuring how much the dough weighs. So we have 317 grams of dough. We'll take 317 divided by 12, and we get 26.4 grams. So we're just gonna measure out 26.5 little gram balls of dough. So let's see, 26! All right. Gently roll it into a ball, place it on your parchment, and then do that 11 more times. All right, now it is time to bake our cookies. We're gonna put them in our 300-degree oven for 22 minutes. Oh, they're beautiful. And we're gonna have to wait for these to cool. It's really hard. Okay, time for the best part. We're gonna have to eat these cookies. I know it's hard to eat just one, but remember, respect your body. Cheers. It is so good. It is buttery, it's delicious. The outside is crisp, and inside is chewy. Perfect amount of chocolatiness. You can taste the CBD, but it is not overpowering. And it might kind of be doing like a nice thing with the vanilla right now. It's really tasty.